Hello, welcome back. So now in this part, we will be solving a design example. So this is our problem. So in this case, we have to design our RCC lintel beam, which is to be provided over an opening of 2 meter wide. So here the width of opening is given, which is 2 meter, and the height of masonry above the lintel is 3 meter. The opening is centrally located in a long wall having thickness 300 mm, and the unit weight of masonry may be taken as 19 kilonewton per meter. So this will be used to calculate the weight of masonry coming on the lintel. So we have to use grade of concrete as M20 and Fe 415 steel. So in this case, 2 meter wide opening is given. So for example, if this is the opening, so this value is 2 meter. So we will be providing lintel over it like this. And the height of masonry above the lintel. Say, for example, this is the ceiling height. So this height is given, which is 3 meter. Then it is saying the opening is centrally located in a long wall having thickness. Now it is mentioning that this is a long wall. Now with this statement we can infer that this length will be more than L by 2. Here also it will be more than L by 2, which means it will fall in case 1. But in case 1 we have two cases, whether it will fall in case A or case B. Case A, in case A it will fall only when we will be having this equilateral triangle within this height, which means the height of equilateral triangle, this H, should be less than 3 meter. Then only it will fall in case A. If the value of H is more than 3, in that case it will fall in category B. So now we will start our problem solution. So first step would be to estimate the size of lintel. So say if this is the lintel, this is B, and this is say D as the overall depth. So in this case, B as a width of lintel beam can be equivalent to the thickness of wall. So thickness of wall is already given, which is 300 mm. So we can consider this 300 mm as equivalent to the width for initial estimation. Well, actually we provide this as equivalent to V. Now for initial estimation of D, we have some thumb rule. So in the previous part, I have shown you for for opening up to 1.2 meter, we can have initial estimation of depth as say 150 mm. Similarly, for every increment of 30 centimeter, we can increase the depth by 25 mm. So say if we have opening up to 1.5 meter, in that case it will become 180 mm. Similarly, for 1.8 meter opening, it will be say 210 mm, and for 2.1 meter, say it will be 240 mm. So our width of opening is 2 meter. So it will be between 210 to 240. So say we will adopt D as 220 mm. For initial estimation, although we will check whether this depth is sufficient or not in the later stage, but for initial estimation, we will be taking this as 220 mm. So here I have written the total depth of lintel, say we are assuming this as 220 mm, and with this we can find out the effective depth or D provided. So D provided is basically a D minus effective cover. So for that we have to assume effective cover. So assuming effective cover as 30 mm, so overall depth minus effective cover equals to 190 mm. So this is the D provided for our initial estimation. So here we have assumed effective cover as say 30 mm. Now width of lintel beam 300 mm. Now we will go to next step, in which we have to find out effective span. So just like we used to calculate effective span in case of beam, singly or doubly reinforced beam, in the same way we will be calculating effective span here also. So basically, as per IS code recommendation, effective span is taken as the minimum of the following. First is the center to center distance of bearing. So if this is the lintel, this is the opening, so center to center of the bearing, so that will be the value of L. So for that we need to find out what will be the value of bearing. So we will assume that the bearing length as 20 centimeter or 200 mm in this case. So with this, now opening is already provided 2 meter. This is the opening of the, I mean, this is basically the width of opening, which is 2 meter. So center to center distance will become like this. So opening of the, I mean, sorry, width of opening plus half of the bearing length from this side, this half, which becomes 200 by 2. Similarly here also it will become half, so that becomes 200 by 2 also. So that becomes 0.2 by 2 plus 0.2 by 2, that becomes 2.2 meter. So this is the first aspect. This is the first aspect, which means center to center of supports or bearing. Second aspect is clear span plus effective depth. So effective depth we have already calculated in step 1, which is 190 mm, and clear span is basically the width of opening, which is 2000 mm. So adding this we get the value of uh, L as 2.19. So here we have two value of L. One is this one and the second one is this one. So minimum of this will be adopted as the value of capital L, and the minimum value is this one. So therefore the value of L is 2.19 meter. Now the next case is, now we have to determine whether our case will fall in case 1A or case 1B. So for that we have to find out height of equilateral triangle. So we are assuming that brick masonry is of ordinary quality and therefore 60-degree angle dispersion will be there. So this is our equilateral angle, and height of ceiling from the level of lintel is given, which is 3 meter. So this height can be calculated by using the relation which I have mentioned earlier, which is L into 3 root 3 by 2. So putting the value of L here, we get the value of H is 1.90 meter. And now you can see it is less than 3 meter, which means complete equilateral triangle will form within this wall. So therefore it will fall in case 1A. Because as I explained earlier also, that sufficient length of brick masonry is available here also and on the left hand side also, because as it is mentioned in the problem that the opening is centrally located in a wall, so we can assume that length of wall on both sides of opening will be more than L by 2. So therefore it becomes case 1A. So in case 1A, the load which will be coming on the lintel will be equals to the weight of masonry contained in the triangular portion, in this triangular portion. So only weight will be coming on this lintel. Now moving to the next step. So next step is calculation of the load. Now as you can see, this is the lintel, and on this lintel we will be having brick masonry. So the total load which will be coming on this lintel will be the load of this brick masonry and the self weight of the lintel beam itself. So as we are designing beam, so generally we find out load. I mean, in case of self weight, we can consider this self weight as UDL, and generally we express UDL as load per meter length. So Here we will be having two load. One is self-weight of lintel per meter length, and we are expressing that load as W, small w. And this we will express this load as load per meter length. So in this case, self-weight of lintel can be calculated as volume into density. So volume of this lintel per meter length will be length is 1 meter into B into D. So B value is 0.3 meter and D value is 220, which is 0.22. So 1 into 0.3 into 0.22, that becomes the volume. Now it will be multiplied by the density of RCC, which is 25 kilonewton per meter cube. So multiplying all these value, we will get the value of self-weight per meter length, which will be 1.65 kilonewton. So 0.22 into 0.3 into 1 into 25. This is how we get the self-weight of lintel. Now next is the load of masonry in the equilateral triangle. So again here I am showing you, this is the masonry which is here. So in this case also we have to find out volume into density or unit weight of masonry. So volume of triangular portion. So in that case, first we have to calculate the area. Area will be half into base into height. Multiplied by thickness of wall. So this is how we will calculate the volume. So in this, base is this one. So this will be approximately equals to L. Similarly, the height we have already calculated in the previous step. So the height is small h, which is 1.9 meter. L is 2.19 meter. So these values is here, and thickness of wall is 300 mm, which is mentioned in the question also. So putting all the value, also unit weight of masonry given in the problem, which is 19 kilonewton per meter. So putting all the values, we get the load of masonry of equilateral triangle. So area of triangle is half into base into height and multiplied by the thickness of wall. So this portion is basically the volume of brick masonry in triangular portion, and this 19 is basically the unit weight of brick masonry. So solving this, we get the load of masonry on the in the equilateral triangle. So that becomes 11.859. So now we will move to the next step. So here you can see there are two different type of load. One is this one and the second one is this one. So this load is basically the self-weight of lintel beam, which is acting as a UDL, and this is basically the load acting as a triangular load. So if I make the loading diagram for this beam, so it will something look like this. There will be two reactions generated from the bearing of the lintel, and the self-weight of lintel beam will be representing as a UDL, which will be having value 1.65 kilonewton meter per meter, and above this UDL there will be a triangular load like this, which is acting on this UDL. So because of this triangular load, the whole load is given, which is 11.859. So we have to actually find out bending moment for this beam. So maximum bending moment obviously will occur at the center. So at the center, maximum bending moment will be consisting bending moment due to the UDL and bending moment due to the triangular load. So I am providing here the direct formula. So now if you don't know how to find out bending moment, in that case you can refer to my lecture 7 and 8 of structural mechanics course. So you can refer to that lecture to learn how to calculate bending moment. So I am providing direct formula to calculate the bending moment of the beam. So this is the bending moment for triangular load, and this is the bending moment for the self weight, which is the UDL. So for UDL it is WL square by 8, and for triangle it is WL by 6. So it is capital W and it is small w. So we have to take care of that. So putting all the values in the formula, we get the bending moment as 5.31 kilonewton meter. So that is the bending moment. Similarly, we will find out the shear force also. So again, I'm making the diagram. So this is the UDL and this is the triangular portion. So because of this load, the internal forces which will develop within the beam will be of two types. One is the bending moment and the second one is the shear force. So calculating bending moment and shear force, how to find out it, how to develop the formula, all these things I have discussed in structural mechanics lecture 7, 8. So you can refer to that. I am again here putting the direct formula for shear force here. So in this case, shear force will be the sum of shear force due to triangular portion and shear force due to self weight. So putting the formula here directly. So total load divided by 2. Basically, maximum shear force will occur at the reaction. So therefore, these reaction value will actually be equals to the shear force. So this reaction, say if I talk about reaction R, it will be equals to the half of triangular load plus half of the UDL load. So that sum will be written here. WL is the UDL and total load of triangular portion is W. So I am divided this as half and half. So that is why shear force will be equivalent to the value of reaction. So putting the value here, we get the value of shear force as 7.74 kilonewton. Now, as we are designing this beam with the limit state method, so we have to multiply these bending moment with the load factor, with the partial safety factor of load. So for dead load, because you can see this triangular portion and self weight, these are dead load, and for dead load we will be taking load factor as 1.5. So to get the factored bending moment, we have to multiply bending moment by 1.5, and that is the design bending moment that is coming on the beam. Similarly, shear force will also be factored. So ultimately, the real value of, or the design value of bending moment and shear force is 7.965 and 11.61. So that is what we have calculated so far. Now we will continue this example in the next part. Thank you.